A Waikato boy has had a lucky escape after he was swept up into the air by a tornado on his way home from school yesterday. 13-year-old George Jeffrey from Matamata Intermediate is recovering from grazes to one side of his body after the twister lifted him into the air and dumped him into gravel, narrowly missing a power pole. George told me he'd heard about tornadoes but never thought he'd actually get caught up in one.
I was just walking home and then I just get whipped across the legs with leaves, and then I just see my friend just run behind the house, and then I just turn around and then I just get picked up by the tornado and just thrown backwards.
Wow, and how long did that last for?
Maybe about 30 seconds.
And what were you thinking? Were you up in the air? Can you remember what you were thinking when you were up in the air like that?
I was just screaming.
And then what happened?
When I hit the ground, I just got off as fast as I could and just ran behind the nearest house.
And were you hurt?
Yeah, I grazed all up the left side of my body.
Gosh, and what did you think when, in the sort of immediately after that had happened? Was it sort of still again?
It just went back to normal. It just went back to sunny.
And so you're sitting there, you've been up in the air, now you're on the ground and you're all grazed.
Yeah.
What were you thinking right then?
I was just scared, and then I was just real scared.
And did you find your friend?
Yeah, he was behind the house. He just told me to come behind.
And so there, how long did you wait behind the house for?
Maybe 10 seconds.
And what did you do next?
I just stayed there, and then one of my mum's ex-bosses came and helped me, and the workers around, and the person from the house.
Had they seen what had happened, George?
Yeah.
So what did they describe what it looked like to you?
They said that there was a trampoline that went over top of me, and I went 2 meters in the air.
Oh my goodness. And so then what happened when you got home? What did your mum say?
She was just saying what an unusual thing that happened, and then she just bandaged me up.
Hey George, can I talk to your mum?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, I'm here.
I'm just wondering what you thought when, was it George that told you, or one of the guys that had helped him? I'm wondering what you thought when you heard about what had happened.
Yeah, well, I was, George's on his way home from school. He usually walks home because we're not far from the intermediate. We're only a block over. And I was at a friend's place, which is a block over from where we live. And it was my ex-boss, Pam Gerard, actually. She rang me and she said, "Oh, Linda, George has been lifted up by a tornado." And I said, "What tornado?" Like, I was oblivious to that we had a storm or a wind or anything. And she said, "He's been lifted up and he's hurt himself." She said, I'll pick him up and I'll take him home. She said, "I'll meet you at home." So when I got home here, George was already in their house and he was in quite a shocking state and crying and whatnot. And I said to Pam, "What happened?" She said, it was just unbelievable. She said she saw him just been lifted up by the wind and thrown. And she said she was driving down the road and she said all she saw was this trampoline heading towards his way, thinking, "God, I hope it's not going to hit him." And apparently the trampoline, I think it went right down Farmers Road. It kept travelling, actually. And she said he was grazed and whatnot. And I came inside and, yeah, he was pretty upset and in shock sort of thing. And this morning I took him to school, and there's some linemen at the same corner at that time, and they were helping George as well. And I said to these guys this morning, I said, "Oh, were you the same fellas that were in the tornado yesterday?" And they said, "Oh, is this your son?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, it was unbelievable to watch. They said they just seen him lifted up, same sort of story that Pam said. And then they said that they heard a crack and a bang. Apparently the fence and a big branch, which was half a tree, had broken off on the other side and hit a car. The fence came down, and they said their truck was on the road as well, which wiped their mirrors into the truck. And, yeah, they said it was just unbelievable to watch. She said it would just happen so quick, and then it was gone so quick. So
Gosh, and Linda, had he sort of come back down where he'd been lifted off, or had he been moved along at all?
I think, by the sound of it, he's moved along because he scraped himself all down one side, and he said that he nearly hit a power pole as well. So he wasn't. Yeah, I think that's lifted him up and then taken him. I don't know how far, but he's scraped himself down the concrete. You know, when they get that horrible gravel rash.
Gosh,
so
he's so unlucky. It's such an unlikely thing to happen, but in some ways he's very lucky in that it could have been much worse.
Very lucky. Yeah, and as I said, both sort of sides of him, a fence has come down, and then the trees cracked and had a car sort of on either side of the property where he was. So it's he was very lucky by the sound of it. Yeah.
How have you been feeling since you heard about all this?
Yeah, it's sort of a bit daunting to try and understand what happened, but, you know, the state he was in, he was really upset. And I sort of realised, like I was trying to say to George before, to say we were sitting on the couch after everything had happened just a couple of hours later, and the wind got up again and it was still light. And just the look on George's face, and, you know, he sort of went a bit pale and to think, oh, God, here comes the wind again, you know. So, yeah, I think he was in shock, yeah.
And that's Linda Burton, who I was talking to there, the mother of George Jeffrey, the Matamata schoolboy picked up by a tornado yesterday.